This is day, I don't even know what, of quarantine. And the thing that keeps coming to mind is walking by faith, not by sight. Man, it's really starting to hit me the last handful of days that everything is changing. Like everything is fundamentally changing and going to be different. Life will never be the same. And things are permanently altered. We're living through a once-in-a-lifetime situation. And so there's something kind of exciting about that. And mostly that's, I think, what I've experienced in the last handful of weeks is the excitement of new things and transitions and the difficulties that go along with that. But I finally hit a couple bites too. You know, my income is going down. I lost a contract and I don't know that I'll get it back. So that's half my income shot. So how do we live by faith and not by sight? Paul is crystal clear about that. Live by faith, not by sight. And most of us are so used to living by sight that to live by faith is an extremely scary thing. And I will say for me, it's not scary anymore, but it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable not to know, not to be in control. And I think that's the big thing that's setting in, you know, 3 or 4 weeks into quarantine here, when nothing is normal. Like life is becoming a new normal for me. I've built a new structure. I built a new way of doing things. I'm still meeting with people, doing this kind of work, doing social media work. I've got a new structure to fit in, which is really good because that's stabilizing and I need stability. But also there's this unknown moving ahead. You know, there was the security of knowing that I had certain jobs and certain things that I was doing and was going back to, and so you don't have to think about those things. But now, who knows? Like, what's the future going to hold? And so I've been thinking about that a lot, walking by faith, not by sight. And what's that like to walk by faith? Well, to walk by faith, the image that always comes to mind with walking by faith is this: we're in complete darkness, complete black, except there's a spotlight on you. And if you look down, you can only see about a foot in any direction. And you have to choose where to go. You know, and when I look down at that spot, I usually see an arrow, some kind of arrow. And so where the arrow is, I start moving that way, step by step, slowly and discerning, watching for the next arrow to point to whatever direction that I'm to go to next. And just keep watching. And then when I see that arrow, I turn and move in that direction, or keep on in the same way. And there's a discomfort in that, because what the dark really represents there is the unknown, right? We don't know what's on the other side of the light. And we're stepping into the dark, which is so fitting in so many ways, because as Christians, what we're doing is we're taking the kingdom back for God. So we're stepping into enemy territory. And the light of Christ is the very thing that should be guiding us. It's not our will or our desires or what we want to do, but it should be the light of Christ that's guiding us. So we keep moving and trust and have faith. This time of Corona is definitely a reboot and a recharge. And for me, it's been learning to live by faith. And once again, coming back to that place of total rest in God. And there's something exciting about that. When God is really at the helm and all I can do is follow him. And I can't lead the charge, right? It's easy when there's an abundance to start thinking a lot and planning a lot and doing a lot of stuff. It's a whole different ballgame when none of that's there. Like, you really are dropped to your knees to follow the way of the Lord. As I've said before, I'm a person who processes out loud, and that's really one of the big things that he's doing. One of the big graces he's giving me is giving me back this total dependence upon him. This total dependence, where everything is about him, everything is for him. I don't have the luxury of just piddling around and looking into cute things anymore, right? It's what's going to move ahead the work of God in the best way to provide for my family, in the best way to see stability again in the future, if possible. So please keep praying for me. I'm praying for you. If these things are helpful, please click like and subscribe and tell me what this transition is like for you. I'd really like to hear. I'd like to know what Jesus is doing with you here. How are you being called to live on faith? Have a great day, guys.